What is up, everybody? Okay, so Valentine's Day event is out, and so far it's really boring. They didn't give any animation updates to anybody. The buffed Kid Gill, but it is like the saddest buff. Well, it's not the saddest buff. It's not as bad as like Kiyohime or anything like that, but they didn't really do anything. So his charm success chance used to be 75%, and I'm pretty sure they changed it to 100 now. So that's nice, but that's like a quality of life improvement. It doesn't make him better, it makes him more reliable. Like, more times than not, he would have landed the charm anyway. So if he was going to land the charm anyway, the buff doesn't do anything, right? So it only helps him be more consistent. And then they added, I think it's like 10 stars every turn for 3 turns, but that's not that good. It's only good if he's working with Hans, or he's working with someone with 2030 or Merlin. So it's good in a very specific circumstance, but his general gameplay didn't change at all. It was exactly the same. It's just a little bit less RNG dependent. So, I mean, it's okay because Kid Gill wasn't a bad unit to begin with. It's not like he's not like Sanson or Phantom or Benkei or someone that really needed a buff, or, you know, Jekyll and Hyde. But I don't know, it's just, I would have liked them to have been a bit more daring with it and tried to give him a more defined role, because he's not really that useful for low stars. Like, I would have given him like a big buster up, or a battery and a buster up or something. Like, really make him a really strong AoE low star. But yeah, his there's no world where his buff was that good, because his peak performance is exactly the same, right? That's not indicative of a particularly good buff. Actually, I would say Benkei's buff was better than his, like, easily. Like, Benkei's buff wasn't amazing either, but Benkei's buff straight up allows him to do something that he couldn't do before that is very useful for low stars. Kid Gill is exactly the same. Like, he's just nothing's different. He's going to fail less often, but his like peak, you know, his ceiling is the same. It's this. It didn't change, so that's not that good. And that's rare. I was talking about this yesterday. It's rare that they buff somebody and then, like, they don't actually gain a noticeable increase in value. It's not hard to make a unit win a turn sooner or live a turn longer and things like that. That's normally easy to accomplish, or to give the team support that's strong enough that they will win a turn sooner or 2 turns sooner or whatever. That's not, most buffs accomplish, you know, 1 to 2 to even 3 turns of value and that kind of thing. It's not often that they put out a buff where it's like, yeah, this actually doesn't really do anything. But this is one of those where it didn't do that much. So the one cool thing about this event, they kind of ruined, in my opinion. You've got like the mode where you basically have 27 enemies and you only have 3 turns, and you win no matter what. It's just the more things you kill, the more loot you will get. And that's cool, and I actually really like it because it's totally different. It's very, the kind of team you're looking to use is different than what you would use in like normal 3-turn farming and stuff. And that's great. It's fun and it's different. The problem is you can only do it once. You can't repeat it. It's just once a day, and it's a different stage every day. So it's really boring, right? Like, it could have been really cool. Like, imagine if it was scaled so the amount of loot you got was reasonable if you could repeat it, or there was an unrepeatable version and a repeatable version or whatever, or you could just do it for fun. But like, while you're farming, instead of autopilot 3-turning, while you were doing the endless mode, you could be trying to figure out how to do it a little bit better each time. You know, you'd still let the stage complete and grab your loot, but then like, oh hey, maybe if I switch this CE or use that unit instead of this unit, I can get a bit farther. And so while you're farming, you're kind of, you know, shaping the team, and that would be really fun, but you can't do that. It is a fun mode though, but you can only do it once. And I would have been okay with it if you could have done it once for the loot and then done it again just for fun, but you can't. This account, though, is going to really struggle with the mode because I have almost no AoE on this account. We have Arash and Shinigong, and Shinigong is fucking amazing for this mode for whales, because he can do enough damage to clear 3 enemies and then bring in someone else that's ready to go after the other guy clears 3 enemies. The other relevant thing about the endless mode is when you kill an enemy, it doesn't wait till next turn to restock them, like for a reinforcement to come in. So you can potentially kill 9 people in 1 turn. So if you're like going really whale mode, using MLBK scopes and things like Shinigong to like cycle people and all that kind of, and you have good refund and everything, you can theoretically kill every single enemy. You'd have to NP 3 times every single turn for 3 turns in a row, which I suspect is possible, but it's not even remotely possible in a budget setup. Like, not even close, right? Because you're going to need MLBK scopes, you're going to need units that have big batteries, Chin Gong, things like that. Chin Gong is a huge help, and I imagine a Grail Chin Gong is phenomenal for that kind of thing. I know the feeling, Arjuna. I've done that myself. Okay, let's get to that mode though, for our alt account. I already did it on my main because I actually didn't realize that it was the endless mode. I just started the stage thinking it was like whatever, and then I was like, oh shit, I can't replay this. Thankfully, I had coincidentally brought a setup that was actually quite good for that mode, and I got pretty far. But I definitely could have gotten farther if I had known it was the endless mode. But it's not really endless though. The kill 27 people if you can mode. But yeah, it'd be, if this event allowed you to farm that way instead of just doing the typical 3-turn stuff, I'd be like, oh wow, this is a unique event that's kind of making you team build in a different way. But it's like, yeah, you only do that once a day. So I am totally going to use Cairo's Nidocris here. Cairo, why is it level 1? Cairo, you're killing me here. That's obviously not going to work. But yeah, I need one of the best ways for this account, I think, to get carried for this thing is Nidocris, because you turn 1 NP kill 3, then maybe a Rosh NPs kills 3, so that's 6 in turn 1. Maybe you have Chin Gong kill a Rosh because you put guts on a Rosh or something, so that's 9 kills turn 1. And then turn 2 she can use her battery skill and she can just NP again, no help from anybody else, and hopefully Chin Gong cycled someone in. If this account had Spartacus, I think it could do pretty well, but I haven't leveled Spartacus on this account yet, so this account is definitely going to struggle. I mean, you said it like way after the fact, and you know, I was already streaming Cairo, so I actually have Nidocris on my main account, so I might have to log on over there, but I'm lazy and I don't want to do that. Anyway, this is just the main story right now, so it doesn't matter. Cairo, you literally didn't. I'm looking at the timestamps, and you did not. I know counting is hard, but I literally started streaming 3 minutes before you said that. Also, I obviously have to do things before I click the start stream button. Wow, Cairo. Wow. See that you're just listening to music at the start. It's the stream still started first, and obviously, Cairo, when it's in the starting soon section, I'm like looking at chat, and I'm actually in my dashboard, and blah 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 blah. Nice try, Cairo. Maybe next time. Maybe in 100 years you can challenge me. And besides, that was still 3 minutes before you even sent it, and the listening section is normally not even 3 minutes, so that doesn't even work. I'm blowing this popsicle stand. Hey, Cairo, it's not my fault you can't count. Nice college education, by the way. Look at all this void dust, though. In the first 2 stages of this give like a bunch of void dust. Oh yeah, they forced this team on you. Look, nice shifting goalposts, Cairo. Hopefully I'll have time to play some Genshin today too, because they did their like New Year's thingy or whatever the hell. So, am I the only one that feels like her NP animation is incredibly boring? Like, it's so boring. Like, it's weird that she's even a 5-star to me because it doesn't really feel like a 5-star NP animation to me. It's kind of like whatever. Although they do reanimate her a fair amount throughout her other, like her normal attack animations and stuff. You know, a lot more than the reanimate people for like animation updates for 5-stars and stuff. I don't even know which stage is which. I have no idea. I've actually only seen this one. But yeah, like, see, look, her ligaments are being reanimated multiple times there, where if this was a 5-star animation update like Scath's or something, they wouldn't do that, and it'd just be paper mache stuff. But that's just part of the course. Anytime they make new units, even if they're 3-stars, like Ricky Boy, they normally will reanimate them a decent amount. But when they do animation updates, they do like a bare minimum. That's stage 1. I thought the one they showed on stream would be stage 1, but I guess not. It's funny, I'm sitting here with 200 Void Dust, and you might think, oh, he's doing good. Well, no, that's nothing. That's nothing. That'll be gone in like no time if I actually level anything that uses Void Dust. I've been collecting Void Dust actually a lot on this account, and I had like, you know, 250 in Babylonia after Babylonia was done, and I've still been grabbing it as much as possible since then, but I'm going down, right? That's the thing. I've gone from like 250 to 200 while grabbing as much of it as possible. So, and I'm not even leveling that much on this account, so it's not great. Yeah, I see a lot of people that do Babylonia, and they're like, oh, I don't need Void Dust. So Void Dust is so easy. Why are you all complaining about Void Dust? I've got like 200 of it. No. That's, that is a drop in the bucket, you sad bastard. Also, you get these like capsules that give you like an extra skill in your Mystic Code, but every time you use the skill, it uses one of the capsules. I think it like makes the, I haven't even used one yet, but I think it nerfs all the enemies' resistances. Like it makes Bust resist, Quick resist, Art resist down, or something like that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Karen's stage 3 I don't really think is that ridiculous. I don't really like it. It's not the one I would use, but I'm like, how is that the line, right? Like, how is that the one? Oh, that's too ridiculous. Meanwhile, we've got Van Gogh, and we have Calamity Jane, we've got Ushi, we've got, like, the amount of, and never mind, like, weird clothing and everything, I just mean, like, rainbow color nonsense, right? We hit, like, her stage 3 is so tame in comparison to some of the just, like, I swear some of the designs, someone just, like, took a pen to paper and just was like, blah, 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 and like, yep, that's what we're going with, right? Like, just total random nonsense. Like, I've seen so much weirder designs from FGO. It's not even close. Okay, that's the endless mode right there. See, it's so unassuming. I just clicked it. It's like, yeah, I'll just go down the line for free quests here, and then it's like, oh no, that's the endless mode. Okay, so does anybody here have Nitocris with MLBK scope? Because I suspect, because this account is so bad at AoE, that's probably the best thing I can summon. It's either that or someone that can just refund themselves very easily. Let's see. If that truly though, if this account had more good AoE stuff, I would probably just go with Qin Gong. Qin Gong is so good for this mode. It's completely, as long as you have other units that can come in and just NP, because there are loads of units that can NP turn 1 without MLB K-scope. Like loads of them, right? You got like Mordred and Gwen, even if you've got regular K-scope, and a lot of people work with the Sakura CE, like Achilles and Gilgamesh and so many others. So if you're able to just have them show up NP and then kill them with Qingong. And so what's cool is they can NP, and in the same turn, Qingong can NP, and they'll kill 6, right? Or if you have another one NPing, you kill 9. Because it restocks the enemies immediately, Qingong is just, he's always good for this kind of thing, but he's even better now. Yeah, Doorman's alright, especially if he has MLBK scope. How big is his battery again? No, non-MLBK scope wouldn't work. They gotta be able to NP, like, on their own immediately. For this account anyway, 80? Yeah, that'll probably work. That should be good enough. He should refund 20. And if he doesn't, I can probably bring Qingong. If I just had Spartacus, I think this piece of garbage account could actually do pretty well here. Because Spartacus could show up from after someone gets Qingonged, and he could just NP. And that's another wave, right? That'd be great, but I can't do that, unfortunately. Yeah, Doorman's probably the best that we have access to. I do think Nidocris would be better, but especially because of the insta-death and everything, if one of the higher HP Sabers is there, she could deal with that. Can you reset if you were like, oh, hey, let me min-max this? Can you close the stage? I haven't tried that, because I only ever did this once, so. Why are you telling me this? I literally have explained this to chat. I'm sitting here telling chat how this works, and now I have people backseating. I can't, I just, beyond me sometimes. Yeah, the only AoE this account has is Arash and Qingong, I think. I am sad I can't do this on my main account though, because I don't know if I'd be able to do 3 NPs every single turn for 3 turns. But I can do pretty well because I've got a lot of units that can NP right away, and I've got Qingong, I have MLBK scope, but team cost might get me. I mean, think though, I've got, let's see, I've got Arash who can NP turn 1, I've got Spartacus who can NP turn 1, I've got Qingong. Then I've got like Mordred, I've got you know, Gwen, blah blah blah, I have all those things like that. What else do I've got? I don't know, I might be able to do it. I might be able to do it. I won't know for this stage though, because you can never play this stage again. So I'd have to do it on the next one, which I think is Moon Cancer for some reason. So that's the thing. We'll see. Yeah, I'll probably stream that tomorrow or record it or whatever and see how far I can get. Pyro, do you not have Doorman? I thought you had Doorman. Oh, lost. Got it. It's probably in the all slot. They've never done Fate Hollow event, and at this point, I don't think they're going to, because everything from Fate Hollow is in the game, except for Bizet, pretty much. So there's really not a lot they could do with a collab event. Why is Lost not showing up? What is wrong with this game? I mean, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll do it, and they could just add like an alternate version of somebody else, right? They could add a different old class. I guess they could add the Hassan from the flashback from the older war. That's something they could do. Do I not have Lost on this account? I'm pretty sure I have Lost on this account. I had a feeling this would happen though. I've explained how the instant replace works like 5 times now, and I keep having people tell me about it, and then or saying what I'm saying doesn't make sense and stuff. It's like every time, man. What I don't get, this goes way beyond this event. Never mind this event, you can shelf this event for a second. What I just do not understand, like I literally just had a comment like this last night on one of my challenge quest videos. People will watch a challenge quest or a main story boss fight, something that is known, let me stress this, listen to me, something that is known to have gimmicks that change the way the game plays. And then clearly someone that doesn't know what the gimmicks are will say, why didn't you do this, or you know, how come you brought this class, or why is this happening, without even thinking about, oh yeah, it's probably the stage gimmick. Let me pay attention to the stage for a second here. Like, I don't understand. It's like, you know, challenge quests have gimmicks and of quite the variety, and then people will say you're doing something wrong and not accounting for a stage gimmick. And like, how is your first step before opening your pie hole not, oh, I should look at the stage gimmick first, right? How is that not the chain, like the thought chain here? I don't, and like I had someone the other day, this is kind of different, but same thing. I have a video from way back, way back for JP's NeroFest, right? Very old video. It's even posted in the title, like what year it's from, because like the different NeroFests were part of that year, right? So even back then, I actually put the year in it. It was like 2007 or something, right? Or 2017, excuse me. It's not that old of a game. And so really old boss fight in the video title, right? And it was Hercules from NeroFest, right? I remember way back in the day, Hercules with his 12 lives and everything. And so I had soloed that Hercules a good number of times with Ku, trying to find the most consistent way of doing it. And spoilers, it was unbelievably consistent, but I was trying to find a run where I actually got unlucky. I wanted things to go pretty badly to kind of show even if things went bad, he could still solo it. So I remember I soloed it several times until Hercules used, he happened to use Mind's Eye several times throughout the fight. So that makes it harder. You have to go longer, right, because of that. And midway through the video, and there's a time where I have my NP, Herc does Mind's Eye, so he's got evade. So I don't use my NP, so I won't do any damage. And, you know, I wait for the next turn. And so the guy's already gone that far into the video, and he leaves a comment like, you should have NP'd because Ku has sure hit. And I'm like, how, are you not even watching the video? Like, you've seen Ku NP like 8 times throughout this video. There's no sure hit popping up. It's almost like the video's from 2017 when Ku didn't have sure hit. How do you not like think, oh, I should probably check that real quick? Like, I just don't understand when people try to nitpick, or they try to correct somebody, or they try to tell someone what to do, or they try to backseat. It's dumb enough to do that anyway, right? It's already dumb to do that, but how do you not check your bases first? Like, what? Especially when you don't know the person, right? You're not like, it's not your friend and you're making fun of them or whatever, but like when you're actually backseating, how do you not check that kind of stuff first, right? I don't get it. It's even worse, like I said, with stage gimmicks though, right? Because stage gimmicks, like, we know this is a thing. It's like we've had challenge quest after challenge quest after challenge quest that always, you know, radically changes. Oh, hey, we got Arjuna's. We'll use that one. I don't know what happened to Lost. Do I not have Lost on this account? I swear I did, but maybe I don't. I've not seen him this entire time. Anyway, I cannot fathom why people will watch a video of a challenge quest they have not done and then open their pie hole about what you should have done instead when they clearly don't even know what the stage gimmicks are. I'm like, it's so mind-blowing to me. Like, if I don't generally ever watch FGO videos until after I do a boss, right? I don't watch someone else solo it or make a team for it or whatever until I've already done it, because I like figuring stuff out myself. But I like watching how other people handle things or, you know, whatever. And so if I did watch a video where I didn't know the fight, and I was like, oh, I wonder why it seems weird that he's using this unit with that unit, they don't generally synergize, or how come he didn't use the sure hit or whatever, I'm obviously gonna, you know, assume it's the stage gimmick first and like look into that first, like, duh, because it's so, like, you fight Tristan in Camelot, for God's sakes. Right, and he's got the reverse class thing, so you bring sabers to an archer, right? And yet to this day, I get comments about, why are you using sabers for an archer boss? I get comments like that to this day, right? Even though the game is showing them doing double damage. It's like, are you not, like, how are you not paying attention here? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, alright, let's see what we can figure out on this account. So, yeah, this account, very limited AoE options, so we're gonna have a pretty hard time here. But we'll get as far as we can. Arash is going to be really important. I think Chen Gong's going to be important. That's pretty much all I have for AoE here. Do I have anything else? Oh, I have Geronimo. We're saved, boys. We got Geronimo. Oh, we do have Nursery Rhyme. That's all right, because she has a battery. I don't know if she'll do enough damage, though, to be all that impressive. Let's see. That's something, though. God, if I just had Spartacus, we'd be looking good here. We're going to have to try to save Arash, then, for, like, the sabers that have a bit more health. I don't remember what the order of units is, but, let's see here. Scam likely, by the way. Okay, so... I have a regular K-Scope on this account. I do not have the Sakura CE. So she gives herself 36% battery. If I give her a lore, she could actually NP with just this, even though this is not limit broken. It's probably worth it because we're going to be using Nursery Rhyme on this account in the long run anyway. It's like a thing. Although I do need to be careful with lures, we'll do that. Dude, I even have a video where you fight Tristan in his interlude and you fight the Camelot version again, but he's even harder and he also has the Gwaine gimmick. And the reason I put this in the video was because I'd had videos from Camelot in the past where I got loads of comments about people being all, why are you bringing sabers to a archer fight? So at the very start of the video, I put giant text on the screen that, quickly says, like sabers are effective, you get the whole class mix-up thing, blah, 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 blah. I literally put his gimmicks on the screen at the very start of the video. And that video still has people wondering why I'm using sabers for an archer fight. And it's like, oh, you can't. It's okay. Well, people are gonna be stupid, expecting people to read. Yeah, it's true. That's what Cairo's saying, right? Yeah, that definitely happens. That definitely happens. People that happens. I think with a lot, especially with challenge quests, a lot of people can't be bothered to pay attention to what you're doing turn to turn and that kind of thing. So they kind of go into the meat of it and see, oh, what's the basic idea here? Because a lot of people aren't. They're either just wanting a general idea of how to do the challenge quests, or they're just wanting to like size up what you did. Like, how many turns did he do it in, right? Blah 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 blah, and that kind of thing. So. People are morons, right? That's what I'm getting at. People are fucking morons. Okay, so she can NP turn 1. Her damage is fucking crap, though, against sabers. So, I'm not gonna have any buffs for her. So that's gonna be a thing. We'll probably just we might literally have her NP the first wave and then get Shin-Gonged. Oh, fuck, I can't turn 1 Shin-Gong because this account doesn't have MLBK scope. I mean, I could with the right CE. I could use a CE. MC. Yeah, Mystic Code. There's CC, CE, MC, like, fuck it. Just, what is wrong with this game? Anyway. Okay, Arash has 30%. God, I wish I had more Sakura CEs. So, that's gonna be awkward. Shin-Gong gives 10. If we save that, then he can get 40. So then he would only need 60. Do I have another Sakura one not limit broken? We're really pushing it on account value here. Okay, we got that. So he can theoretically NP turn 1 if we save Shin-Gong's thing. The problem is Shin-Gong now. And I would like to use the Switch Mystic Code because, oh man, see if we had Spartacus, man, you could have Spartacus with you could really keep the stuff going. The one thing this account has that's good for this is her. But, can she do enough damage? Can she do enough damage to clear wave 1, even though they're sabers? If she was NP2, I would say probably. She could probably do it. We might be screwing ourselves on team cost. Okay, hold on. Alright, so if that's wave 1, and then I don't think a boss shows up on wave 2. So I think she would work on that one. Whatever shows up after that, though, I think would be too tanky for Shin-Gong to kill. I wonder if then we would have Doorman. The problem is now no one's dead. You could do Arash, but I feel like we should save Arash for later. Because he's one of the only ones that would kill like the 100k one. That's so incorrect. Most units in this game that you will be charming with Kid Gil, you are going to have, like, I can't believe I have to explain this again. Like, first off, number one, Most things in this game do not have high magic resist, even sabers. I like how you're just like rounding it off, trying to like quickly pass off, like, yeah, most of the time it's gonna be like 50%. That's objectively wrong. That's objectively wrong. Overwhelmingly, most of the time, it is going to be well over 50% in your favor. Because most things don't have super high magic resist, and even the ones that do only have 20%, right? And again, it doesn't, that does not affect your maximum performance. Like, are you not listening to the words coming out of my mouth here, right? Even if it's 50-50, which it's not, but even if it is 50-50, if you're really trying to get the most you can out of Kid Guild in like a challenge quest, or in a solo or whatever, you're obviously only going to go with the attempt where the 50-50 works, right? So then you adding extra success chance to it doesn't change anything, right? You're not all of a sudden, oh, you remember that one stage I couldn't solo? It was just, Kid Guild just did not have enough value. He was like one turn off. That's obviously including when he charms, right? So now that his charm is going to land more often, it's not like, oh yeah, and thus I now have that extra turn of value. Wait, no, it's exactly the same. I just don't have to restart the stage as often, right? That doesn't make him, his peak is not any better, right? Yeah, it's nice that he's more consistent. Of course that's a good thing, right? Being more consistent is nice. But compared, for example, when they buffed Bin K, right? It is very easy now for his maximum performance to be over one turn, because there are many boss fights where removing everyone's buffs is going to benefit you more than one turn worth of value, right? Now, as I said with Bin K's buff wasn't super amazing either, because sometimes the boss is not going to have buffs that are super impactful, or it's a setup where you just couldn't get Bin K's NP or something like that. Like, Bin K's buff is nothing phenomenal either, but it's very easy for it to give you a turn worth of value. And for Kid Gil, his max value is exactly the same. That is not a good buff. You know why? Because Hercules over there got buffed and his max value went up by like 4 turns. Ku got buffed and his max value went up by like 2 turns. Darius just got buffed and his max value went up by at least 1 turn. Sometimes a little bit more, but generally 1 turn. Overwhelmingly, when they buff a unit in this game, they get at least 1 turn worth of value. They're either going to live 1 turn longer, or they're going to kill 1 turn sooner, and sometimes more than that. Sometimes you get buffs there's like 2, 3 turns worth of value, right? So when you look at Kid Gil, who's an okay unit, but no one really uses him for 1 to 3 star stuff, because Rice Man's just better, and Spartacus is just better, and stuff like that, so he doesn't really make the cut very often. That doesn't mean he's bad, it's just there's better options, so he's not really needed. So he's kind of he's an unit, right? So when you're giving all these other units buffs that are increasing their value by 2 to 4 turns, right, of value, and you give Kid Gil something that's not even a turn of value, it's just hey, it's at least less annoying to use this skill, that's not a good buff. That's objectively not good, because it didn't do anything, right? It made it so it's less annoying, and that's you know, it's a quality of life improvement, right? It's not like, oh wow, this one stage that Kid Gil didn't work in now he works in. There's no stage in the game that just happened to. Nothing. Like, there's no stage where Kid Gil would not have worked before where he works now. None. And where you look at all these other buffs that they do, that is true, right? There are times where Darius wasn't good enough, and now he is good enough. And same for Hercules, Ku, almost all of the buffs they do in the game, when you go to like the hardest content that they could, you know, fit into, it really helps them. There's only a few units when they buff them that doesn't happen, right? Kiyohime is one of them. Kid Gil is now one of them. At least Kid Gil is kind of better than Kiyohime, so you know he can afford it better. You know, it's obviously much worse when they do this to a unit that's really bad. When you have a unit that sucks, and then they give them one of these joke buffs that doesn't even give them like an actual turn worth of value. It's kind of like, what, right? You took a unit that could barely do anything, and now they're not even any better, right? With Kid Gil, he's kind of mediocre. And then they buffed him, and he's just still now mediocre, right? Nothing really happened. But you're just completely skewing the numbers, acting like Kid Gil's charm was like overwhelmingly, Kid Gil's charm still works more. Before this buff, Kid Gil's charm would work more times than it wouldn't. That didn't make it an amazing skill, because generally charms that do nothing but charm just aren't that good, right? You normally need more than that, especially when they're not 100%. And obviously it was annoying when like magic resist would go off, or you just didn't land it and things like that. So sure, of course it's nice for it to be 100%. But let me give you an example. Almost everyone else that they've done this with charm with, they've added a very impactful other skill to it, right? Because basically if you look at their like design philosophy, taking a charm from like 80% or 75% to 100 isn't, they don't really see it as much of a buff, because it's not. It's just, it's a quality of life thing, because it would have fucking landed a lot of the time anyway, right? And so they do something else, and they did that with Kid Gil. It's just what the other things they did was so minor, and the kind of setups you use them in, that's just not going to be very helpful. But for like example, almost every other charm that they have now has another effect that's pretty decent, right? And so the total value of the unit is pretty solid. Where Kid Gil, technically they still did that, it's just, it's clearly not impactful enough, because it's such a small amount of stars that is only going to add up if he's working in conjunction, like, oh, Caesar just NP'd and made a chunk of stars, or Hans is here with 2030, and so that combined with this, and now we're like swimming in stars, right? Which is nice, it's good to have that option. Kid Gil is objectively better now than he was before. It's just, compared to almost every other buff that they've done in the game, it's a very, very small increase. And in a lot of situations, if he failed before, he'll still fail now. If he succeeded before, he'll still succeed now, and not really any easier, right? That's not a good buff. That is not a good buff, because when you look at all the other buffs, like Ku, just good old fucking 3-star Ku, his buff allows him to do things, that he could not do before. Right, so if he was like really, or if he was really pushing it before, now he's got some nice wiggle room. That's just not the case with Kid Gil. It's not like, hey guys, Kid Gil almost never makes the cut for low star budget setups or 1 to 3 star things or just AoE archer things. He almost never makes the cut. But now that we buffed him, he's totally going to make the cut. No, he's not. He's still not going to make the cut. Rice Man is still better than him. A lot of times Spartacus is still better than him. And Kid Gil did make the cut on low star teams occasionally before, but it was when you exactly needed a 3-star archer and like a neutral class would not cut it, and you needed maybe more than just Rice Man, or there was some kind of gimmick where Rice Man wasn't very good there, or charm was better than normal. Every dog has their day in FGO generally, where there's some stages that happens to line up perfectly with them. But Kid Gil has always been one of the lowest picked 1 to 3 stars, one of the lowest picked 1 to 3 stars, and he's still going to be one of the lowest picked 1 to 3 stars. Now, if they buff him again, then we might be getting somewhere. Okay, so the only way I can see making my front line work this way is if Arash goes, but I wonder if I can do Lantoria NP, Nurse Ryan NP, Arash NP, Qingong shows up. No, that doesn't really work. I need Qingong on turn 1, I think. I'm just worried that whatever wave is out, Qingong won't clear. But let's say, theoretically, that he does. That would mean Lantoria would die. Arash would show up. I guess we could use Switch Mysticode to bring in Doorman. And then that's like a double kill, and then like another kill after that. That's okay. I mean, that's certainly not as good as what you could do on like other accounts and stuff. But for this account, that might be as good as we're gonna get that I can think of. Okay, but we could have 1 more unit show up. We might have to mess around with this a little bit, because the Qingong wave might really go downhill. What can I do for the final unit? This account does not have much else in terms of battery. I mean, they buff, oh, thank you, Finn, for the 100 bits. They buff OP units all the time these days. The final unit could be some with battery in case Doorman happened to go around the wheel more than I thought, or just high normal card damage, or you can at least do a single target NP. Man, I should try to level Spartacus while this event is going on. I've been saying for a while that this account needs Spartacus, and yeah, this really would have been a good time for him. Yeah, don't have a lot in the AoE department here. If I had another K-scope, I might be able to get something done, but because I don't, not a lot we can do at the end here. Maybe we just Herc and try to normal card someone off the map. That's about all I can think of there. Do I need Switch here? Yeah, I think I do need Switch here, right? So, Lantoria dies, Arash kills himself. Yeah. So I need to do it like... I think I do it like that. That way Nursery Rhyme is behind Herc, I think. Because you're switching out Nursery Rhyme for Doorman. Alright, well, we'll see if Qingong does enough damage here at the start. Karen's alright. I mean, she's nothing that we don't already have access to, really, in terms of, like, damage and looping and that kind of thing. Although it's kind of unique having it on a ruler, so... I haven't really used her at all yet, though, because I'm so, like, neutral about Karen, so I'm not like, oh my god, let's go test Karen out, right? It's kind of whatever, so... I'll get around to testing it more thoroughly later. I forgot to give Lantoria a starting in PCE. That's kind of an important part of this. She kind of reminds me of Voyager, if that makes any sense. Yeah, Tsukihime collab is going to probably happen. I'm not sure. It could happen this year. It really could. They could have already been working on it, right? But it might happen next year after the thing's already been out and stuff. From a marketing standpoint, it definitely makes sense to do it this year, like very much so. So they may well have been like working really hard to make it happen this year. But, you know, who knows? Behind the scenes stuff can affect things like crazy, so we'll just have to see. It'd be cool if we got a Fate Hollow one, though, just because I would like them to add Bizette. I've said this before. If they ever add Bizette, I want them to add it through a Fate Hollow collab, because then she'll probably get in as just her regular self, like how Shiki and Fujino did. And I would much prefer that, because I think her regular self is cool, and the suit's cool, and everything. I don't like, with Karen looking really different and everything, and I don't want that to happen to Bizette, right? I want it to be like Gray and Shiki, Fujino, etc., etc. So I very much would prefer a Fate Hollow collab for her to get added. I was told Karen has a line saying another nun is coming soon, which might... Oh, yeah. That could... Yeah, that makes sense. That could see that being Tsukihime. Yeah, I can't even think of what else they'd be referencing with that. So yeah, that probably is Tsukihime then. Makes sense. Yeah, she's like an executioner or whatever. Exterminator or whatever. What would I save the Buster up for in Qingong? I could give it to Lantoria, but I don't think she needs it? I would really hope not. Wait, wasn't Qingong supposed... Oh, fuck. I didn't think this through. Qingong needs to be able to NP on turn 1. And he can't, because I don't have MLBK scope. I could use a... Okay, hold up. I could use a Mystic Code to do it, but then I don't have Switch, which is pretty bad. This account just isn't, yeah, I guess I could CS. Honestly, you really should CS once a day, because, especially on an account as weak as this one, because these come out once a day, so you might as well use... I actually think I will do that, because I think it will help the account. I don't know if I'll use it there, though. I might use it on, like, the final unit or something. But yeah, especially for an account as weak as this, using one CS a day actually is very logical. Yeah, apparently a lot of people were really hyped for Karen. I mean, good for them, but because I'm kind of lukewarm about the character. But I'm glad for the people that got her, that wanted her and everything. Okay, I guess if we're gonna... It'd be nice to bring another AoE and then just CS them at the end, but for smoothness, I think we probably do need to CS Qingong, so I should give him something to just do more damage. See, that gives him more overcharge, which is more damage. I could give him, like, Formal Craft. That's probably fine. More MP gain that way, too. I just got Formal Craft last night. Where is the shit? I need to really make sure before I use the CS that I'm doing this right. So, Lantoria NP, Nurseryme NP, Qingong then NPs, Lantoria is dead, we killed 9, Arash comes in, although Qingong honestly might not kill 9, we'll see. So now Arash is here, we use Switch Mystic Code to bring in Doorman, so then Arash NPs, Doorman NPs, that's at least 6, obviously we're falling behind, but this account's not going to go all the way, it's just not going to happen. And then Herc shows up, which is pretty useless, but then Doorman can use his battery skill in NP again, and then we're pretty much out of gas there. Let's see, is there anything that we could do with like Herc slot that could be better? Because Herc's going to do like nothing. The main issue is I don't have like any more battery CEs really. Although, oh sorry, I can use K-Scope now because we're not using it on him. So I could at least get, what else do we got? The only other battery I think we have for AoE or anything is Karna and you. Anybody else with a self? Oh, I guess Medea. Oh god. Oh god. Her damage is so bad though. It's so bad though. But if she kills 1 guaranteed, at least it's something. If only Fuma could somehow get a battery, he would do alright. I guess we use Medea. Oh man, if we'd been leveling her up, she's got a battery. She could have actually done pretty well here if I'd leveled her up, because she is AoE. And if it was just Spartacus, dude, Spartacus would be our ticket. Like, Spartacus is another clear. Dude, that sucks. I don't think I can level Spartacus yet. I could probably level him though pretty quickly, because I just need the embers. But, yeah, for the future ones, we'll try to get Spartacus up like ASAP. We could put this stage off until like the end of the stream, and we do some farming now, and we grab, let's see, what do we need for our boy here? Oh god, there go the hero proofs. We have to do his strengthening quest too. He has to unlock his 3rd skill, and then you have to level it up enough to, I think its base is 20%, I think. But then we need to do his NP upgrade and all that kind of stuff. But he definitely would let us go a bit farther. And I don't feel bad about leveling him at all, because I really like Spartacus, and I've been wanting to get him on this account anyway, and he's good for farming and some challenge quests. And we're probably going to grail him on this account some. I've been wanting to have an account that has a grailed Spartacus, so. But Ben K, speaking of like the buffs and everything needs now though, Ben K just needs something else to complement his NP. Like, Ben K's NP is pretty nice now, but his toolkit is still so bleh that, aside from his, ability to just taunt, because taunt's always nice. But yeah, he needs something else in his toolkit to complement his NP. Like a battery. If they give him a battery so he can get his NP pretty easily, now we're really getting somewhere. Oh, right. I don't have my chat bot on, excuse me. I forget to turn this on every time. And the reason I turn it off is because I've had it where I'm recording something with OBS before, and even though I'm not streaming, someone's in my chat, and it'll show up in OBS for the recording, right? So I always turn it off to be safe, then I forget to turn it back on. Hey, Brett, thank you for the 4-month sub, dude. Well, we got all the mats, so we need to ascend them, so that's something. Boy, the VOD is gonna be a mess then, because I'm like just talking to myself. Although I guess I'm doing that anyway. That's ultimately what streaming is talking to yourself. So. Okay, if we do a little bit of the event, we could get him to 60, and We could. He would help. He really would help. We would just do whatever stage drop the bronze mat, because the bronze mat is what you buy the embers with, so it wouldn't take that long, I don't think. I mean, waste an FP. At least the Medea CE is an okay 3-star CE. If you were doing a 1 to 3 star only account and 1 to 3 star only CEs, who would do such a thing? Anyway, it would actually make the cut. It's not something you would use like every stage, but it's actually useful enough that it would make the cut. It's rare that they add 3-star CEs, but that's the case. Any chance I didn't buy the embers yet? I didn't think so. The hard part is not getting the XP for Spartacus. The hard part is enduring unlocking all of his stuff to make his toolkit, you know, what it's supposed to be. That's the bad part. Hey, Beastly. Thank you for the 26 months, man. I wanted to use You're Not Virgil the other day, but unfortunately the stage I wanted to use him on did not allow for support, so I couldn't actually do that. What is chat even going on about now? Okay, this probably drops bronze mats. Although, hold on, let's look at Spartacus's stuff here. This is not what I thought I'd be streaming today. Okay, that is the third skill unlock, which is so outrageous that that's even a sentence. I guess we have to do that to get the other one. These are so long and annoying. Sure, why not? It's not like this account's gonna be super efficient with this kind of thing anyway. Hopefully we won't need him for anything, really. Nah, just do Herc. In case the Sabers have more health than I'm thinking. And then I need Han's Bond. He's at Bond 9. Getting places very slowly. I'm looking forward to how far this account can get on this stage, though, because this account is so bad, right? Especially for AoE. It's so unprepared for AoE kind of things. And speed, right? Speed is a real problem for new accounts and budget accounts anyway, because there's not a lot in the way of like refund or battery going on. Although I tell you, if you had Hohenheim, you could probably get some degree of refund going on a budget setup, and Hohenheim can turn 1 NP and take out those 5k dudes. Seriously, Hohenheim is like the way to go for like a budget account. Not necessarily a new account, because I figure a lot of new accounts probably don't have Hohenheim, but if you're doing like a lot of 1 to 3 star stuff, Hohenheim is definitely the way to go there. Because yeah, it clears out the 5k dudes at the start, helps someone else refund. A Rosh, Chin, and use SQ. I mean, that is probably a way to do it, to be honest. Because you have to NP 3 times every single turn, basically. That's the only way to kill every single one of them. You don't get. Is there anything special for killing the final enemy? Is like the final enemy got like more health and drop more stuff or anything? Bet Shingon can't kill himself. That's the, you need someone else to sacrifice himself, I think. Damn it, I wasn't paying attention and I could have target switched. Man, this account, I'm tempted to grail Spartacus, Caesar, and Caligula. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. Fuck, his skill's not leveled up enough, so I didn't get the NP. By the way, my stream's actually just a Kirby stream, clearly. Keep adding more and more Kirby music. Rome account, yep. It is funny, I wasn't even thinking about that though. We actually already grailed Caesar, we just haven't leveled him. I like how I didn't even buff Karna a minute ago. Imagine Karna Kirby gets like the hair and the eyeshadow and stuff. And you just click the B button and then you use Karna's spear, you know, just blow up everything. Just casually tap the B button and then everything explodes. Imagine Spartacus Kirby. He gets like the bondage gear on the head and everything. And the hair. It's really easy to do anime Kirby's because anime is so based on the hair, right? You just slap a wig on Kirby and they're good to go. That's an Arjuna right there. Yeah, you get the chin, yeah. I can just see like Zeus Kirby, you make like the eyes glow and everything, and he has like the kind of trying to be serious face, but it's Kirby, so it's not really that serious. A Rosh Kirby, yeah. That's actually kind of wholesome. See, Chaos actually was Kirby this whole time. Explains a lot. Dude, look at the crowd! The crowd is like, and I know a lot of crowds in video games are terrible, but like, my god. I'll give them this, at least they have a variety of like colors in there. So when you just kind of see with the background of your eye, it kind of works. But honestly, the fact that they move is kind of bad. Because they're so 2D and there's so many copy-pastes, literally there's two green shirt guys like right next to each other, for God's sakes. Them moving just like highlights how 2D like flat they are, right? Like obviously like these sprites are 2D on the screen, but like they're well animated so it doesn't look bad. Where they're like a static 2D image, right? And yeah, them hopping up and down just makes it look worse, I would say. Also, I don't think like what are they? Why are they hopping, right? Like unruly crowd or no, that doesn't really look right. Green Earth is the best one, by the way. Hey look, the sound effects are bugged. Big fucking surprise there. Why I hate the way they do old units, man. Like not only do you have to do a stage to unlock your third skill, which is just ridiculous, but it costs a massive amount of AP, and look at how many arrows this is, and that's not even the longest one. Like, it's so stupid. And when they add a new 3-star to the game, of course they don't do that, right? It's just their garbage way of retroactively dealing with old units, man. And the AP is just outrageous. Like, the AP cost is so silly. Good old Martha. When you max out Martha, you are rewarded with now having to waste like an hour of your time and wasting like 300 AP. Fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, I don't think we Stella this one. It just doesn't make sense to. So the mace that these like werewolf guys are using is fairly accurate to a real kind of mace. Random trivia that. Of course they're lancers. Or not Karna, Arash, not gonna do shit here. I'll buff him, try to... We should have made Karna like Chin Gong or something. That ain't gonna work. Actually, I might do the trick. Go horsey, there we go. Underestimating Stella there. Arjuna is making the final wave nice and brainless though. I hate that I have to do all this though just to get Spartacus like he was supposed to do. I just want to do the endless thing real quick and see if my setup will work at all. But I gotta do this garbage first. And I gotta do another one after we're done with this one. As I think I do, unless I've already upgraded his NP or something. I'll check. Sometimes they let you do those things early. So maybe I already did it. There's 2 more of these, dude. I may have already done it. God, look how many I have on here. Yeah, I'm hoping I've already done it, so then I only have to do these 2. This is actually give Arjuna FP stream. Wait, why am I looking at the assassin slot? That coup alter, man. At least this event is forcing me to level Spartacus, so I'll stop putting it off. Just get it done, for God's sakes. Oh god, so I have to level Spartacus's second skill to 6 for it to give him 20% battery. It starts at 10 and it goes up to 30. Shit, I don't know if I have the mats for that. What does he take? Hero proofs. I need 15 hero proofs and I don't have them. I have all the other mats, but I don't have the fuck! If I cannot use Chen Gong's battery skill, it'll still work. Because Chen Gong's battery skill will be the other 10%. I need another hero-proof lottery, man. You just use them so much. I'm pretty sure, even with Babylonia, this account has acquired more hero-proofs than any other mat, but... because I actually farm them some on this account. It's like the only thing I farm on this account. I do not farm on this account much at all. But when I do some like autopilot farming on the side, it's always hero-proofs. I do get some Void Dust, though, while farming hero-proofs, because I do that American stage a lot of the time. Which gives hero proofs and Void Dust. It drops hero proofs more, if I remember correct. No, I've been doing the pirate ship on this account. So no, I don't get the Void Dust. I probably should switch though. The pirate ship actually is better though for just pure hero proof to AP ratio. So that's probably fine. My main account though does the American stage. Because it needs everything. Hey Finn, thank you for the gifted sub. My main account though lately, when I've been farming on it, I've been farming bones. And I actually am at 0 bones now because I got enough bones to get scaths. Finally get scath to 10-10-10. But yeah, that wiped me out, so now I'm out of bones. Thankfully this event gives bones. Wait, do we... I must have already used Arjuna's NP on the second wave without paying attention. I'm pretty sure that's what we did here. Well, we'll just, see red, press red. It'll be fine. Sometimes when I farm bones, I normally go for AP drop ratio efficiency, but sometimes when I do bones, I actually do the 15 AP node. Because it's more time efficient, and sometimes I don't care about that, but a lot of times when I'm farming bones, I'm really not paying attention to FGO, and I kind of want to get through my AP somewhat quickly, and I'm like doing something else, like maybe I'm playing another game, maybe I'm doing laundry, or exercising, whatever, and so I kind of just want to get through the AP, so a lot of times I don't do the most efficient way to get bones, but I do sometimes, it just depends. I hope they add a new stage for bones at some point that's more efficient. Truly though, that 3 AP stage is really efficient. If you're able to get through your entire AP bar doing that stage, the amount of like drop ratio you get in the long run from it is extremely good. It's just your sanity might not remain intact. A lot of mats and stuff I do wait for lottery events, but like because I like low stars so much, and you just need so many bronze mats, you don't really have a choice but to farm bronze mats, especially like on my main where I really try and stay on top of my favorite characters and new low stars and everything like that. There's just not enough to go around, so. Alright, let's go Spartacus here. I have not done Spartacus's NP upgrade, so I don't really know why it wasn't available. This is from Super Robot Wars, called Oath by Starlight. Super Robot Wars is a lot of different games. It's a very big franchise, but they have a lot of good music in different games because they remix a lot of music from like Gundam and other mecha shows and stuff, and they also do a lot of original music, and they're both good. A lot of games that will like take the remix music from other stuff, whatever original music they add themselves is trash because they don't put any effort into it, but Super Robot Wars, generally, not always, but generally it's not like that, and they have good music pretty much all the time. Surely they're not gonna one-shot Arash. They wouldn't do such a thing. 0 NP gain for Spartacus. I never played Battle Moon Wars, but I know of it. Like, I know the deal. Makes sense to do Arash's second, even though he's being counterclassed, because he still gets the bonus damage, so. I wish... I'm seriously made Grail Spartacus on this account. I've been wanting a Grail Spartacus, and his gameplay is so much fun at 100, because he starts to get a lot more value out of his healing, where otherwise he couldn't. And it's just fun to have a 1-star AoE unit be that effective. And hey, maybe they buff him down the line. I tell you though, they need to buff Blood Axe, because they're very comparable to each other. They're so similar. But Spartacus is definitely better for the most part, outside of some very specific circumstances. So, yeah, I really hope they buff Blood Axe. And then buff Spartacus as well, but buff Blood Axe first, please. See, imagine if they buffed Blood Axe and they gave him, like, you know, his defense down is 5% bigger, right? Like, that's such a nothing burger of a buff, right? Or if they gave him, you know, a 10% defense up, you know, it's like, that's so crap. And then you have Kyuhime over there getting a 6% defense buff. I was like, really? And a burn. Do like 500 damage, oh man. That is one of the worst buffs they've ever done. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Kyuhime fan, and I'm like, I don't think they've ever done a character more dirty than that. That was so dumb. Like, she was so already, like, outperformed by what she's directly compared to, and so she really needed a buff, and they gave her just such a worthless buff. Like, it just did nothing. Okay, yeah, so we had to do that one to get... Look at the fucking... There's so many arrows, dude! And that's not even the NP one. I have to do another one. What we just did was just the buff to the first skill. This is unlocking the third skill, which gives us the Buster up. And then we get to do the NP upgrade. Holy crap, this is annoying. I hate old servants, dude. And I don't mean like the characters. I mean how DW handles them. Look how much AP this is. Look at how much AP this is for a 1-star, right? And then they add like you know, Black Bart and Gareth and Shin Gong, and they don't have to do anything. You know, they're getting out of the box because it's insane to have a unit that doesn't have 3 skills initially. That's dumb, right? That's a stupid thing to do. But you know, they don't just give it. I'm telling you, what any self-respecting dev here that like actually cared what the player base would do is they would retroactively, and this is not even hard to accomplish, they would retroactively have it so Spartacus just comes with his third skill. He just comes with it, right? Just like anyone else, when you get to the right level, you get it. And if you go to this menu, if you want to like go here and click and do his interlude just to get the SQ and stuff, you can. But you don't have to do it to get his fucking third skill unlocked. Now, if you want to keep the strengthening quest like normal, that's fine, because, you know, they could buff Black Bart tomorrow, and you'd still have to do the strengthening quest to get Black Bart's, you know, upgrade, whatever it would be. But no unit has to do a fucking quest to just obtain their third skill. That's stupid, right? It's only, you know, early units that have to do that, and it's just a complete waste of time and AP. And just AP costs for these things across the board need to be lowered. I don't even know why AP costs in FGO are so extreme. Like, they don't want people playing the game. I do not understand. Okay, this is not the thing we should summon to go fast, but we're doing it anyway. So this song is from Mech Commander, which is an extremely old game, but it's one of my favorites. I'm not exaggerating, it's one of my favorite like single player games. And I played it again recently, having not played it in many years, and it still holds up so good, man, in terms of gameplay. Obviously it's an old game, so the graphics aren't so great. But in terms of gameplay, man, that game has aged very well, and it's still very mechanically satisfying, and there's so much it's like a difficult game, so you can't just like snooze through it by any means, but there's a lot of freedom in how you approach it and how you beat the different stages, and I absolutely love that game. But yeah, it's pretty old. I think we'll normal card down this wave. I mean, so much of the cast day 1 only had 2 skills. It was only 5 stars would always have 3 skills. And of course, right, you know, they're trying to incentivize people to roll. I mean, FGO was a joke early on. Maybe I could stream it. It'd be good because I barely touched it. I only played it a little bit recently. So most of it would still be, you know, I wouldn't know how to beat the stages anymore and everything, so I have to figure it out. I haven't tried, but I suspect it would not play well with OBS. A lot of old games really struggle to like be streamed. OBS does not normally work with old games very well. I could look into it though, and we'll see. Because I do love that game quite a lot. Actually, I think Genshin is way better about almost everything when it comes to FGO, because, for example, in Genshin, first off, the majority of Genshin has nothing to do with using your AP, right? It doesn't matter. The overwhelming majority of Genshin Impact is an exploration game. It's an open world exploration game. So the overwhelming majority of what you do in that game is just explore the game, play the story, do the side quests, and you can come and when you're done with all of that, which takes a spell, but when you're finally done with all that, you just come back every time, you know, they add new stuff. And a lot of people enjoy gearing and fighting the bosses and everything, and that's fine, but you can do that very reasonably, right? And then going even further beyond that, like, so for instance, you never need to worry about your AP, I was gonna call it AP. You never have to worry about your AP refreshing to actually be geared enough to fight the bosses and to do well in Abyss and those kinds of things. You don't really have to stay on top of that stuff unless you're trying to really, really min-max, which is unnecessary. But even if you want to do, let's say you want to go fight the 3 super Abyss mages just for fun, but you're out of AP, you can do it anyway. And let's say you want to go fight Child, like, hey, I want to solo Child, so he's harder and stuff, and I just want to, you know, have fun fighting the boss, but you're out of AP, you can still do it. You don't get any loot, but you can just do the content, right? You can fight any boss, anytime, and it doesn't matter if you have AP or not. So honestly, I think that's way better. FGO, you run at AP, you literally can't play. And I can't even fathom someone thinking Genshin is worse, because fucking look at every event in FGO ever. Once you actually have proper stages unlocked, it's 40 AP every stage, and you generally, even on a account, can 3 or 4 turn those stages. Literally in a few minutes, you are completely out of AP, right? It's stupid, like, it's absolutely dumb. And like, I cannot fathom why FGO does it that way. It makes no sense. Like, it makes a lot more sense than in Genshin Impact, because Genshin Impact is so much less based around farming things that even take AP. And some of the things that take AP do happen to just be fun, but you're allowed to do them anyway, right? So I think Genshin is significantly better than FGO when it comes to this kind of thing. Now, don't get me wrong, Genshin could run it into the ground, and they could start making things a lot more based around AP, and they could also make it so you can't do stages just for fun unless you have the APs. Like right now, you can fight any boss anytime regardless of your AP. You can do any Dominion, you know, without AP. You can do Abyss mode without AP. You can, you know, all the like challenging gameplay oriented stuff you can do anytime, no problem. And so you know, really using. You pretty much just use your AP in Genshin every day just to start gearing. And if you use all your AP every day, you know, you're going to be geared. And in the meantime, you have plenty to do. So it's just not a problem. You cheese the hell out of that, don't you, Cairo? I can just, I can totally see you just going total ham on that. I do not. I don't know, man. I really do like that fight, though, and I solo him with himself. I actually like doing his first stage with Child, if you are soloing, because you can so easily bait out his like super counter, which you might think is bad because it can like kill you so easy, but it's such an easy way to guarantee like have time to damage him. It's kind of like Bido in his second form. You do electric to make him do his counter, so then he's guaranteed to be in his recovery frame doing that, and then you're beating the hell out of him, so. I mean, they don't really affect me because I really only use Noelle. Obviously made her stronger as well, but I mean, it was kind of unnecessary in my opinion, but it doesn't really bother me for the most part, especially for the other Earth units. I think it's fine, but it was unnecessary for Zhongli, or how do you say his name? Rex Lapis, dude, you know. What's his other name? Dude's got like a million names. He's like Rex Lapis, and what did the people that was like people that don't like him call him something else? I forgot the name of it. Morax, that's the one. Dude, that sounds like Dr. Seuss. Fucking was it Snorax or Lorax or whatever? That's what it reminds me of. Mora X. Yeah, that's some Godzilla shit right there. It's just like a giant coin, like robot fighting kaiju. I think almost every game does a better job than FGO when it comes to AP systems. Like, by a lot. So for like Arc Knights, first off, their AP costs are much lower, but the amount of AP you can hold is lower. But the ratio generally works out better, and also your AP regenerates really fast in Arc Knights, almost too fast. And then also in Arc Knights, if you fail a stage, your AP is refunded. And things like that, so it's just way better. It's so much better. And so also if you're doing something for fun, you can always just cancel out of it and not even use the AP. So like that's so much better than FGO is. And same for Epic 7. Epic 7 has a much better ratio on stage costs to the amount of AP that you have. And then if you fail a stage or exit a stage, it doesn't cost anything. Just everyone does it better. Literally everyone does it better. And the reason for that is because FGO is actually copying the business model of what phone games were like 10 years ago. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. Like, the really early, like, idle games and stuff like that, stuff that really started these kind of, you know, hero collection kind of style things. You know, they very much did it like FGO does, right? No refunds on AP, no, you know, you can't play if you don't have AP, all those things. That's like really archaic, you know, of the past style things, and FGO just kind of copy-pasted it. And then why everyone else was evolving, and then they haven't, you know, done any quality of life updates to catch up. I mean, Epic 7 is not grindy if you want to just play the story and do the original, like, bosses and the hunts, and maybe, like, the first labyrinth, like, that raid, like, the original raid. But if you want to, the problem with Epic 7 isn't even gear, it's PvP, because PvP requires you to have extremely min-max gear, and then that makes people do it, and then that makes it impossible to scale anything. So, like, that's the main problem. I mean, it's obviously bad the way they do gear and how RNG based it is, and I mean, it's so fucking RNG. It's so ridiculous. But the real issue, I would just say, is the PvP forces people to do it, which that then means they start scaling PvE that they make with people that are that geared in mind, or they make content that's designed to be beaten by anyone, and so it's so easy that there's no challenge in it. So like Epic 7 is just a mess. FGO is not really even that grindy unless you want it to be, right? If in FGO, if you're focusing on doing the main story, clearing the event shop, you know, not going above and beyond that, and you're not trying to clear the event shop on day 3. I don't know why so many people do that, by the way. So many people are like obsessed with clearing the event shop like whales do, right? And trying to do it ASAP, when they could have just used their natural AP, you know, and done it by halfway through the event's duration or whatever. I will never understand that. But anyway, if you're not trying to like level every unit ever, FGO is really not that grindy at all. Now, if you want it to be, though, it can be extremely grindy if you're trying to, you know, if you're whaling and trying to obtain like every new unit, and then you're trying to level every new unit and that kind of thing. You're trying to go really quickly. Like, I see a lot of people, they're new to FGO, and they're trying to get a bunch of max level units when they're not even at fucking like America yet. Right? It's like, why, right? Instead of just enjoying the game and having your units be like appropriately leveled for the content that you're at, they're trying to over level everything and go gas, and then they just trivialize the story, and then just back to gas, right? And then they're like, oh my god, I'm doing nothing but grinding, this is so boring, right? It's like, it's because you're playing it that way. Now some people enjoy playing it that way, and good for them. It's their game, they can do whatever the hell they like. The thing is, even if you can only play a little bit each day, which is totally reasonable, people have responsibilities and everything, it still makes more sense to not try to do it at the very beginning of the event, unless you're not going to have the free time later in the week or whatever. When I use apples on an event, and that's with my old accounts. On my old accounts, I use apples just to stream, right? On my old accounts and stuff, I'm popping apples just to, you know, do things to you know, be active on my stream. But other than that, I wait to use apples until the most efficient nodes come up, right? Like, the first few days, the nodes are so bad that like using apples on them is just nuts, right? It's so silly to do that. But literally a bunch of whales will do these incredibly inefficient stages because that's all that's available, and they'll just do them like 100 times in like the first day or more, right? And then they're done with the shop already. I cannot fathom that. If you're limited on time, you should wait until the really good nodes are out and use your apples on those nodes, because then it doesn't actually take that long. Yeah, I've known some people that have done that, where they are getting units to 100 before they're like anywhere in the game. And again, it's you know, everyone's account, and it's their free time, and you know, their apples, they can do whatever the hell they like, and more power to them. It's just, I see a lot of people do that kind of thing, they complain about it, right? And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Honestly, the time required to do like 11 lotteries is normally higher than what it would take to actually do like the what you would really need to do to clear a regular event, because a regular event, a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff in the shop you don't need, especially if you've been playing the game for a long time. You don't need a lot of like statues, and normally, let's be real, everybody has that matter to that they just don't care about, because it's only applicable to a certain style of servant they don't care about. Everybody's got that, like scarab or lamps or whatever. Everybody's got a matter too like that, where there's, even though they've never farmed them and they almost never buy them from the shop, they're sitting on like 200 of them and they're still never using them. Like for me, it's most of the Egyptian mats. I just don't care about most of the Egyptian servants. I like Aussie, but that's about it. But yeah, I don't really level any of that stuff. So almost all of the mats related to them, I've never farmed, and I've never needed ever, right? And I'm just sitting on an ungodly amount of them. Yeah, Godly Wine, most of my accounts need it when it first comes out for pence, and that's it. And I like never need it again. So I have like an ungodly amount of it, and I never farm it or even try to get it. But yeah, normally like on NA, when pins just came out, I needed to grab it from in a shop early on just because of pins. But yeah, after that, it just stops really mattering. But yeah, most people got a chunk of mats, unless you're like a super whale and you would go for every unit that's ever added to the game. You normally have a chunk of mats that you don't need, and you don't need to buy them from the shop, especially gold mats. Gold mats, you know, bronze mats you pretty much always need, but gold mats a lot of times not at all. And so a lot of times you don't need the statues. There's normally a mat or two in there that you just absolutely don't need. So you don't actually need to clear the shop. You just need to do like a chunk of it, and that's generally easier to do than it is to do 11 lotteries. Obviously, people generally go beyond 11 lotteries, but yeah, I don't think it's, if you're pushed on time and you're busy with your job, or you do other things with your friends, or you know, you have other things that occupy your time, It doesn't surprise me that you might struggle to do 11 lotteries, because especially it depends on the event too. Some of the lotteries have been a lot more generous than others, but I remember like that last one, my god, there were no good nodes for that event until there were only like 3 days left in the fucking lottery, if I remember correctly. It was, or like maybe a week or something. It was really dumb. Some lotteries are really bad about like what stages unlock when. Yeah, I don't have the time, you know, even though my job is streaming this game. Although I will say that doesn't actually help me very much, because normally when I'm streaming, we're soloing, or we're doing a new account to play through the story again, or we're fooling around with damage stuff, or I don't farm on stream that much, but I do some, absolutely. I absolutely do farm some on stream. So it makes it easier for me to do those kinds of things, but normally between all of my accounts, right, because I play a lot of different accounts, but so between all of my accounts, I normally do maybe 50 boxes, sometimes a bit more if I really care. But between all my accounts, I'm gonna do maybe 50 to 60 boxes. Normally a little bit more than 50, I would say. But I definitely do about 60-ish boxes when. But that's with me streaming the game as like my part of my job. I guess the other half of my job would be YouTube, and that takes a lot of time. But yeah, I swear, people that do 100 boxes, 200 boxes, 500 boxes, or people that do like 500 boxes, they're pretty much just playing the game non-stop. You know, like they're playing it a lot. So their job is either streaming it, or they're just unemployed and have a lot of free time, or something like that. There's just no doing that many boxes unless you're just doing it so much. And the thing is, even if I had that kind of free time, I wouldn't want to use it on doing that. Like, I like FGO, but what I like about FGO is fighting the bosses and doing the story and messing around and soloing, and that's what I really enjoy about FGO. And I do the farming in spite of it. I do it to fuel, so I have more units to play around with for the fun stuff. So I would never use my free time to open 500 lottery boxes or whatever. Like, no way. It's just not worth it at all, right? I'd rather spread it out. Because sometimes, you know, I won't, like right now, I don't have too much to do on YouTube right now. Because first off, January, February are just horrible for YouTube in terms of like financial stuff, so like staying afloat. But I don't really care too much about that. But there's nothing really that's been pushing me to make a video right now, because they haven't done any animation updates. There's really no boss fights I can do right now. There's no story replay. I actually have a bunch of videos I want to make. I want to make a Caligula solo video. I want to make a Berserker Lancelot solo video. I want to make a Cursed Arm solo video. I have a lot of things on my to-do list, but there's really no. I don't want to make those videos against boring content that you could beat in your sleep, right? I'm trying to look for content that actually is good for those things. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a Zerker solo for a while. Yeah, I know with his one skill, I know it sucks. But I want to do it for the music and his animations and everything, so that's why I want to do it. But I know it's hard to do anything good with him because of that. That's why it hasn't happened yet. Arjuna, can I get you to relog in a second? Because we're gonna need to summon your doorman in a minute anyway. For the actual stage we're doing all this for. I might have to settle for something, Cairo, where it pushes him on value, but it's not actually that interesting of a stage. But at least it's like thematic, and like it'll look cool from like just seeing his skill animations and like whatever he's fighting or whatever. And you put a lot of effort then into the editing to make it entertaining. But yeah, it's hard to get a good video for Zerker Lancelot, unfortunately. One of these days, though. Story replay would help so much, though, when I want to make a video for a unit. And you have so much content to pick from to find something that's like worthy and really show them off. And especially if you want to show them off in a team setting, right? Because that's kind of what I want to do ultimately. This is kind of a pipe dream. But like, for example, I like Canis a lot, right? And I've got a nice selection of videos now of showing her off in solo and team play. I don't really have enough for solo. I haven't done like a lot of really interesting stuff with her solo yet, but I got a few good videos for her solo, and I've got some videos I'm really proud of for like her team gameplay that I'm really happy with. So I kind of want that for like every unit, right? I want to have some videos show off Vlad in solo and to show off Vlad in like a budget team setting, right? Like we're working with Hans or whatever, right? You know, I really like that kind of thing. I like it when you're fighting content that's worthy and you know, has gimmicks you have to account for and things like that, or just pushes you on value. And then so you can, you know, pick out some good music and all these things, right? I want that for a lot of units, and it's just hard to do that when most of the good content is not replayable. So, like, work with me, game. Oh, Baldi in teams. Not only in teams, but budget teams. That's the hard part, right? You could always do, you know, double scatty waiver nonsense, and you can kind of just force the NPs out, no problem. But when you try to do budget setups with him, it's just infuriating. Thank God for Hans, though. Hans is like the lifesaver for budget setups with Baldi, because at least Hans gives him battery and stars, which is the two things that he needs, and a crit buff as a bonus, so that's nice too. Obviously, you still have the normal deck RNG and those kinds of things, but it's much better. Yeah, if Hans didn't get that third skill buff, it would just be terrible. Okay, we have another stage we have to do now. Thank God this one's only 3 arrows. I just cannot believe you have the amount of AP and time you have to put into these old units, man. Just... Give me 1 second. I need to get water and I need to switch. I'm doing laundry right now. I normally try to do those things off stream, but I gotta switch the things from the washer to the dryer. Very exciting, you know, very really epic stuff we got going on here. Alright. These have like no health, so I think we just normal card them down. I was just pointing out off stream that the amount of time and AP it's taking for just Spartacus is brutal, right? But you have most new accounts have to do it for yeah, I was talking about that earlier, Vol. I had a whole rant about that. But you have to do it for Leonidas, you gotta do it for Robin, Mozart, right? Just so many units, and even some random 4 stars like Martha and everything. I think Lancelot is actually one of them too, right? So it's really obnoxious having to use that much AP and time to just unlock the third skills of the original units, right? It's just, it really adds up. Like just Spartacus here, this is a damn large amount of AP that you could be using for, you know, all kinds of other things. Yeah, isn't his third skill the crit one? And NP gain one, which is super important. Oh yeah, at least with MHX, they're upgrades, not just unlocking your third skill is just so much dumber than getting a buff, right? But having 4 buffs that's annoying. Because obviously they were expecting you to do them one at a time as they were added, opposed to doing them all at once, which is kind of absurd. Oh, 2 of them are interludes? Oh boy. That's pretty annoying. That's really annoying. Yeah, Emiya's got 4 buffs now, yep. Hey, at least I haven't had a rant about what how the scientific method works again. I can't even believe that was a disagreement. That was the stupidest thing. Like, yes, practical testing is a very important part about science. It's pretty basic. Also, I really, not to go back on the scientific method, but for real, this really is like life advice that I really stand by. It is really important from time to time to check yourself. Like, for real, you do not want to just autopilot accept things on paper. That is not a smart thing to do, because at some point you're going to believe something that is false if you do that, right? And I mean, everyone's going to believe something that's false at some point in their life anyway, but if you always just believe things because the majority of people believe that, or the majority of people say that's true, but you don't actually look in to try to understand why it's true, it's really important to do that from time to time. And even if, when you look into something, it doesn't change your mind, you know, it's good to do the exercise anyway, because even if you only change your mind once or twice throughout your life, for God's sakes, it's a lot of times really important to have done that. And just you know, it's not smart to just go with the flow and just accept things because everyone says that's how it is, right? Like, for example, there's a lot of stuff that's been tested to death in FGO, right? But you haven't tested it, and you don't know why that's so generally accepted. So figuring that out for yourself is really important, right? It's very useful, and it goes way beyond just, you know, fucking video games. Well, right now we're getting ready to do the endless thing for this event. Which is why I'm doing these stupid stages, so I can get my Spartacus at least halfway ready to go. Because you only get to do this stage once ever, so I gotta make sure this garbage account does as good as it can. And let's be real, because this is literally what I was talking about before with Kid Gil and why I don't like his buff. Because everything Kid Gil could do before, he can still do. And everything he couldn't do before, he still can't do. Like, there's no spot where it's like, oh man, Kid Gil was so close. If he just had one more turn of survival, or if he just killed one turn faster, he'd be able to do it. He still can't do it. So, like, the only area where he really gains value is in, like, when you'll get unlucky less often. So you'll have those turns where you're like, oh fuck, his charm didn't land. That won't happen as much. And then he does have better synergy when he happens to work with someone that also has Star Gen, right? But in typical scenarios, nothing happens. He's pretty much the same fucking unit he was before, but a little bit more consistent, and which is nice. But his problem wasn't consistency. His problem was he just is average, and there's a bunch of other low stars that are above average. So hopefully he will give him another buff down the line that works with the buff they just gave him. Like, maybe they give him a crit buff with a Star Absorber or a Buster Up or an NP Battery or whatever that could synergize with his other, like with the Star Gen, or just having better toolkit in general. Giving him Buster Star Absorb would be really good. That way you don't need as many stars because they're being funneled to a smaller selection of cards. That would make his kind of meh star gen actually work. So give him like Star Absorb and for Buster cards specifically, then give him like Buster Up, right? But like I said, I really wish they would have pushed the envelope with him because he's so easy to do that with, right? And so an example of pushing the envelope is what they did with Hohenheim. That was such an insane buff that they gave him. That was a radical effect on his performance, right? Huge buff, right? And they've done a few buffs like that from time to time where they really give somebody a facelift, right? It would have been easy to do that with Kid Gil because, you know, there's so many super strong low stars out there. So for example, I would really like them to, like, you know, for his thing is AoE. That's his thing, and he has no survivability. So he needs to be really hard hitting AoE. So for example, if you need to kill Sabers and Berserkers, he should be a good budget option. And then there are times where, like, budget accounts or new accounts, things like that, you have to go at neutral, right? There are a lot of times for low stars and stuff, you have to go at neutral. He should be one of your better neutral AoE options. Maybe not necessarily the best all the time, but he should be one of the better ones. Right now he's not, but he should be, right? And a lot of ways to accomplish that is like I don't think this would make him overpowered. I don't even think this would make him a staple. I think it'd make him a staple for AoE stuff. But if they buffed him like this, if the buff they just gave him was instead of adding the star gen, you do the charm success chances higher. So thank God for that, right? And then you give him Buster Up, and then you give him Buster card Star Absorb. And then you give him 20% NP battery. You do all of that on one skill, and I still don't think he'd be like some super fucking amazing 3-star. He'd be good, and he'd have uses, but that would be nice because then he could get his NP pretty quickly. His NP would hit harder than for a low star, harder than most for AoE, and then you've got a nice little, you know, kind of Buster synergy going on there. That would be really nice. That would. Because that's what he needs to be, because he has no survivability at all, right, and his HP stat is garbage. You know, he really needs to focus on, okay, NP hit hard, get it quick, right? That needs to be his thing. But I always hate when that's like the direction they initially went with a unit, and then they don't like reinforce that when they buff them. So then they're kind of just lukewarm sitting there. Yeah, buff block is always really good. Buff block is always really good. And she does have nice survivability and that kind of thing. She'll be really good for this event, though, because she's got an event bonus. So, same for Voyager, right? Voyager did really well during the event because he had the extra damage. I tell you, though, I remember those people trying to say Voyager was going to, like, define the meta and everything, and my god, did that not happen. I mean, of course it didn't, right? Like, you know, Voyager's fine, and he's usable, but there was nothing, like, unique or, you know, he wasn't, like, better than Edmund, you know, that kind of thing at all, so. That was the thing, that guy I remember on YouTube trying to say he was going to, like, replacing Edmund and everything. It's like, not at all, dude. Sometimes, DPS rarely defines the meta, but they do a lot of times, they're so clearly the best thing to use for a certain style of content, right? You know, like how Edmund is, and Lancelot and all that for Scatty's shenanigans. There are more options now too, though. But they're like normally a DPS like is the way to go for a specific challenge quest. They're not the way to go all the time, right? Really rarely is that the case. Like there'll be a one DPS that's like always meta in this kind of challenge quest or in this kind of main story fight or whatever. But yeah, there rarely is a DPS going to be on par with like what you see out of the supports and stuff. Although there are some that are really pushing it, like Enkidu is just so broken so often, it is pretty ridiculous. But even it's not like you're going to use him for, you know, sabers, and you're not going to use him for things that, like, okay, you can use Enkidu for any archer and any berserker, of course, right? And then if they have divinity or threat to humanity, you can use them against literally any class. But if they're not a berserker or an archer, and they don't have divinity or threat to humanity, then sure, he's better at neutral than most things are, but there's really no reason to use him at all, right? So that's clearly not as meta-defining as, you know, Merlin, Castoria, and all that kind of stuff. Burke is pretty universal. He's pretty meta-defining for, like, a normal player, because he'll let you beat almost anything in the game, no matter what it is. Not necessarily quickly, but that is very useful to a lot of people. Not useful to whales and stuff, but I mean, that's just a different criteria at that point. Because the average player is never going to have every single OP support and all that kind of stuff. Herc is just nuts. Herc isn't even a DPS or a support. Herc is just Herc, so... You just Herc the thing. Are we done? Oh my god, after so many stages... I think we have all of Spartacus's stuff now. So now we still can't do the stage because we need to get a little bit of XP for him. So we need to do like the bronze, whatever these stages. I'm assuming this one drops bronze, that one drops silver, and that one drops gold. None of these I imagine have good efficiency, but we shouldn't need that many stages to level him up. So we'll just do a few here. Anybody got the bronze mat slotted? Because I actually don't care. Okay, there's one right there. I don't care. Oh, Cairo's got an MLB, I bet, so we could always do that. But I don't care about points right now. This account really doesn't give a shit about that anyway. And the Medea one, the Medea, that's the bronze mat one. Because yeah, we need to get as many bronze. I don't know for sure, but I assume this stage is gonna drop the bronze mats for the XP stuff, so because I just need enough XP to go from like 53 to 60 or whatever. Yeah, let's see. Honestly, maybe just slap it on a Lancer. I don't know if this account needs to try to do any AoE bullshit. Either that or slap it on like Waver or whatever, but you can probably just slap it on a Lancer. This account doesn't do a whole lot of AoE spam. Yeah, this account's probably better off going see red, press red, or whatever. Zerker that actually works just fine because he can see red, press red, and if he does happen to NP for whatever reason, it's AoE. So yeah, this should be so easy, it won't even matter. There we go. Get that double drop in here. I think this account has one? Yeah, okay, so we get 3. That's something. What's another see red, press red that we have? I mean, Spartacus, but he's not quite ready yet. And, well, Ku has 2 busters. He's grailed. This is why I want a grailed Caligula. Oh, we'll just do that. There we go. Her NP damage won't matter. I kind of want her just to have the highest attack stat I can give her, so I guess that one. Because the other one's just Buster crit. Alright, this ought to work. Arash needs Bond. I guess I could use Arash, but honestly watching the death animation is probably not worth the time here. Might as well level the Switch Mysticode. Alright, this should do just fine. I mean, no, she's not better than Edmund at all. I would say almost never is she better than Edmund, because normally if you're doing double scatty Edmund stuff, you're probably doing like Switch Mysticode Waver or Poster Girl stuff or Nero Bride or whatever. Like, when was the last time a scatty setup cared about survivability? Like literally, when you do scatty stuff, survivability is irrelevant because the whole point of it is you win in 3 turns, and so the stage is over. So I don't think Karen is going to be meta at all, to be honest. I think she'll be meta for the event because she's a bonus servant for the event, and she'll be meta whenever a specific challenge quest just has gimmicks. Because some challenge quests force you to have survivability, but you normally don't do double scatty stuff when that's the case. So yeah, I mean, it had to be a very, and sometimes buff block is really good. Sometimes dude, there are challenge quests and main story fights that buff block just totally turns the ship around, right? But outside of that, I mean, she's pretty inferior. Because Edmund has so much going for him. He gets his NP very easily. Also drains, that's nice for challenge quests. Has extra Star Bomb. He has Pierce Invulnerability. That's a huge thing. There are plenty of challenge quests where you're like, oh, you broke the last health bar. Why does the boss have 18,000 health? Anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of times where like, oh, this health bar, you break it and they get invulnerability, but then Edmund just keeps going, right? And then you stun the final health bar or whatever, right? So it's very hard to replace Edmund for those kind of setups. And if you are going to replace Edmund, of course there are times Edmund is not the best DPS for an AoE challenge quest. But when he's not, it's generally just because of the very specific stage gimmick. So there's no world where Karen universally replaces Edmund at all, like not even close. Yeah, a lot of times you want Scatty to die, because if Scatty dies, you bring in another battery person. Like, a lot of times you'll put, like, a poster girl on her. So, one, Edmund or Lancelot or Atalante or whatever. Because, you know, let's say you're fighting a bunch of Sabers and Berserkers, a lot of times Atalante is the way to go, right? The DPS changes a lot based on what you're fighting. But anyway, a lot of times you want to protect your DPS, so maybe you're fighting a boss that just hits crazy hard. So even if you have a setup that will win in 3 turns... Oh man, this stage doesn't just drop the bronze mat. That's lame. I know the final stage only drops the gold mat, but that's lame that this doesn't just drop the bronze mat. Let's see how many of these we're gonna need. But anyway, yeah, generally you want Scatty to die, and you want to have a way to not have your DPS die. So a lot of people will put like Poster Girl and Scatty to just get rid of her, and so your DPS is guaranteed not to die. And then maybe you stun later on because you're using Switch Mystic Code or whatever. Oh my god, stop talking. I do not like her voice actress, but let me rephrase that. I don't have a problem with her voice actress. I don't like the casting. I do not like the... It does not fit her vibe very well, in my opinion. I've never cared for the way they've done that, but it's not the voice actress's fault. It's just the voice directing and casting, really. Okay, that's we're gonna need a lot more of those probably, but we'll see, unless we get lucky. Yeah, too high pitched. Just not really the vibe. Almost all gold mats are easier to farm than bronze mats, and it's because the amount that you need versus the amount that is obtained is much easier. Like, gold mats sometimes have a lower drop rate, sure, and a lot of times there's not as many of them in an event shop as the bronze mats, but then the amount that you need to level someone or level their skills is just so much lower that the ratio ultimately is just completely out of whack. Man, Lancelot is awesome, dude. I love that they gave him like this pseudo overload too. Never really confirmed in lore that he could do that, but it just looks cool, so. It being split between Buster and Quick is not bad though, because it's enough Buster to be used on a pure Buster servant, and it's enough Quick to be used on a pure Quick servant if you have to. And there's also a lot of servants that use both, like Ku and Proto-Ku and all that kind of thing. So it's a really good CE. It's a fucking awesome CE for a freebie. It's just the split stats ruin it. So if I didn't have the split stats, it would be good to go. I'll tell you what, if you are desperate, like you're a newer account, so you don't have Golden Sumo, you don't have Drunken Jolter, you don't have the Christmas one, you know, and you're really desperate for like a decent Buster up freebie CE or whatever, and you could level it to 100. It's okay at 100 because at least it gives you 1,000. But my god, if you're gonna level something to 100, you'd much rather level one that gives you the 2,000 attack. The only time gold mats are a problem is on a very new account. Like, really new accounts have, you know, they don't have a stockpile of any of the mats, they haven't played any of the events yet, so if they hit a wall of gold mats, it can be a bit of an issue for them. But once you got, you know, you got your account going, got some steam on it, then the gold mats are almost never a problem, outside of when, like, they add a new servant and they added a new gold mat that has never been available, and you have to, you know, beat the new main story and do the new free quest to get it right. That can be shit, but other than that, it's not a problem. If we could get like great or super successes, that would be fantastic. Could actually be done right now if we get lucky. Damn it. Watch this one get super. Okay, maybe one more stage and that might be all we need. This is why I always save up such a stupid amount for the things that I really want in FGO, because we don't have a safety net. That's why I'm pissed that I was like, I'll get one copy of Calamity Jane, because then she'll be NP3, and that's good enough, and you know, and her gameplay's fun and everything, and it's like, it was like 750 SQ or whatever. It's fucking stupid, dude. So now I'm down to, what is it, like 1,200 now or something, so I'm pretty, that's why I'm not using my summon tickets anymore, because I gotta really get ready for Lost Belt 6 in case they add something I really want, so I'm desperately trying to get my SQ back up. Even most safety nets only do affect 5 stars, and that would not, you know, it'd be nice to have a safety net for 4 stars, but that'd be good enough. I wouldn't complain at all if they added a safety net that was just for 5 stars. But I would like one for 4 stars because the 4-star rate up is only 50%, so the coin flips can just destroy you sometimes, which is really annoying. I like how I just cast her Buster up like she needs it. The thing is, at least Arc Knight guarantees you the coin flip. FGO doesn't even do that, right? You can spend, you know, 700 SQ and not even get a 5-star at all, and you don't even get the rate up shot at it, right? It's ridiculous. Obviously, I think safety nets are much better when they just guarantee you the thing, but it's beyond me that FGO has nothing. They have nothing. It's so infuriating. Yep, Cairo's got the biggest circle lot around. Alright, please tell me we're done. Okay, we actually didn't get as many off that run as I was thinking. Shit, that's probably not enough. If I had gotten another 3-star CE, we'd probably be done by now. We might get it. Sadness! Okay. So these are way more efficient to be used as mana prisms, but I don't care. I just don't fucking care. Okay, there we go. I am so tempted to grail him because we might need the extra damage, and I'm probably going to grail him anyway, but I probably shouldn't. We should see how this goes. But I'm almost positive this account is grailing Spartacus at some point. Him and Caligula, I think, are definitely happening. You know, to what level, I'm not sure, but okay, so if we're using Qin Gong, I don't think we need to get that battery higher on that, so we should just get the Buster up higher. You know, like, pretty much no question at this point. This account is grailing Caesar, Caligula, Spartacus. No idea how high on those. But we're still gonna have plenty of grails, so we'll have a few more we can do as well. Yeah, freaking hero proofs, man. This is really good for this account, though. It's going to help it a lot in the long run, especially once I get his second skill to 6, because then he gets the 20% battery. That's really going to help with the farming. I really do need to get more Sakura CEs. I think I need one more to limit break it. That'll help. Between that and having 1K scope, we should be able to do some things pretty smoothly. Okay, let's see if I can remember what the hell the strategy was. So we need Doorman again. We can get that from somebody. We need MLBK scope Doorman. Okay, we got lost there. We'll see if we get Arjuna's, just because Arjuna's is NP3, and that might matter because there might be some of the bosses that show up. You know, you're going to be pushing it a bit on damage. Wait, is Lost's grailed though? It's okay. No, they're both 90. Okay, I think we'll do Arjuna's then. Oh shit! Arjuna, did you give him your special chocolate? Is that an event bonus I see right there? That's gonna be handy. This account should probably give that to Spartacus, honestly, but I haven't even thought about who to give that to. I actually might give it to Hans on this account because I really want Bond 10 Hans on this account, and you get a Bond bonus, but the damage bonus would be completely wasted and be kind of dumb. I don't know what to do on my main account. Like, on the one hand, I want to give it to Ku because Ku's my favorite character, and I want to get him to Bond 15, and he's about to be Bond 14. But, you know, who knows if it'd make no sense to give it to him for the farming aspect of this event. And who knows what the challenge quest and stuff is going to be. So I might just hold on to it. Bond is nice, but it's not that nice. So, like, my priorities are different. Okay, so... Spartacus the stream. Alright, so... Lantoria NP turn 1... Book NP turn 1, command spell Chin NP turn 1. That should be 9 kills. It might not be though. I think one of the bosses will show up and Chin won't kill, so that's gonna really suck. That's why I kind of want to find a way to put Arash in the beginning. I'm just not sure if I can. So that would be a thing. So Lantoria would be gone. Arash would come in. Next turn, you switch Mystic Code out the book for Doorman. And then Arash NPs, Doorman NPs, so that's only 6 kills tops, not 9 again, unfortunately. Unless I use another command spell, but I don't think we're going to do that. Then Arash will be dead, then Spartacus shows up, then Doorman uses his skill, he can NP, Spartacus can NP. So we are certainly not killing all of them, but that is a decent amount of kills. What's going to mess it up is if one of the bosses shows up with too much health that Chin Gong doesn't kill them. That will mess this up quite a bit. Oh yeah, I haven't seen the new Valentine's Day scenes. What does Canis do? I need to look into that. Like, how did they do all that stuff? This account, I'm gonna use 1 command spell a day because these unlock once a day. So, kind of like, why not? Yeah, I'll check that out later. I'm curious what they do. I don't want spoilers for like the story or anything, but I just want to know like what they did. No chocolate? That makes sense. This doesn't surprise me. Okay. Let me, before we do this for real, let's preview real quick and look at the order in which things are coming at us. In case the Chin Gong thing is just not going to work. I don't want to use a command spell until I know what I'm doing because it's committing, so... Okay, at least we're giving Chin Gong charisma, that's a thing. So I'm not NPing with Chin because I just want to see what would Chin NP, right? What would be available if I did it this way. Yeah, I kind of figured she'd be in the male tab because, like, that's definitely the way she's gonna behave and, like, view herself and everything, and, there's just no way she would be on the other side of that. Like, no fucking way. That'd just be silly. Really, they really should put a lot more of them on the return gift side of things because a lot of them, it's really out of character for them to behave that way, so... Okay, so he's gonna have a 50k saber. He's probably not going to kill that. He'll be overcharged. I could give him the attack up from the thing. What really sucks is that I can't use the pill. You have to use it first, right? If I could get the love bomb on yeah, I was thinking about Arash, because Arash can deal with a boss, but there's other bosses that are going to come later where you're going to need more damage too. So I don't know. Although I guess we could use the love bomb for those. Depends on the timing though. So what's the other option here? What's the other... Doorman is going to do some really good damage though. So let me make a second team over here for if we did it Arash early. So definitely Lantoria. That just makes a lot of sense. I mean, Arash for just a 50k one, I don't think is right. You could... Maybe you do Doorman early. He's getting counter class? That's right. He is getting counter class. That does suck. This is... I'm telling you, Nidochris is the best one, man. Like, Nidochris is super good for this. Especially if someone gave Nidochris to Chocolate. That's like the super good one. Because she can double NP no matter what with it K-Scope. Right? She's at least neutral. You also have the Insta-Death in case you need it. And then, yeah, being neutral with the Chocolate thing would be super good. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'd use Doorman early then, though. I don't think this is gonna work. We have to save Arash for later, I feel. Like, ultimately, this account is just not gonna kill as many waves as we would like. I mean, what are you gonna do? Because, yeah, if we use Arash early, I just don't think, like, if 100k, because I know there's some 100k ones in here, we're just not gonna have the damage for it. I think we just go with the other setup, and, it's not gonna do as well as we would like, but we gotta... Alright, so we switch Nursery Rhyme out for Doorman, right? So she's in the back, and that way when Arash dies, Spartacus comes in. So we're doing that right, at least. Maybe Qingong will surprise us. But if he was Grailed, I think we could do it. He's getting double overcharge. He's got the good CE. We'll have the attack up and stuff. So if we had high skill ranks on Lantoria and our Mysticode was leveled more, and we had a Grailed Qingong, I think he could do the 50k. He can hit pretty hard if you really go mad. If you go like level 100, 2k foe, you know, all that nonsense, you could probably get him to do the 50k. Especially with a rank 10 Mysticode and rank 10 on Lantoria and stuff. Yeah, this account has gotten a lot of Nursery Rhyme. She was a tutorial summon though, so we got a leg up on that one. Sadly, we haven't gotten any goddamn Herculeses though. Alright, let me make sure I don't click any buttons wrong here. Alright, well, this is our only shot at it, so don't mess it up. If only the love bomb here was like Art and Buster quick up instead of debuff, because then you could put it on Qingong here. I really hope Qingong doesn't die. Should I taunt Nursery Rhyme? I mean, I don't think these guys have the damage output, but if Siegfried lives and like Buster crits us 3 times in a row on Qingong, that would be so bad. And I don't have any use for the taunt after anyway, so I think I do? No, it should be alright. Maybe we need to use it to save Spartacus or something, I don't know. I can always save Scum, because this is not the time for honor. This is the time for pure blood and guts here. Murder, murder, murder. As long as this account gets you know, does well, good enough. I'm not really expecting this account to be all that impressive. The fact that we are unironically using Nursery Rhyme for this, though. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Well, he'll definitely kill 2, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna have Siegfried here. It was decent. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh my god, dude! That sucks! God, that sucks. Oh right, we've made a slight mistake here. I was thinking we were gonna have Qin-Gong's battery skill for Spartacus, but we need to use it for Arash. Maybe we have to delay one turn. Ah, that fucks everything up. Yep, I need Spartacus's second skill to be at rank 6, which I don't have the hero boost for. Because if it was rank 6, then I could do both. So that's gonna hurt us a good bit there. Well, what's better? Arash, it's better for Arash to go now because we need Arash to die, unfortunately. So I guess we kill. I think we hit Siegfried, Doorman in P, then Arash, I think. Let me look at this here. Dude, if Qin-Gong, I should've, why didn't I Black Grail? I don't know why I didn't use Black Grail, but yeah, if Qin-Gong had killed there, that would have been incredible, dude. We could have gotten way more value out of this than I thought we would. There's no need for the defense down right now. I might save Scum to see the order. I think we want Doorman to NP before Arash, because I expect there's probably not another boss for a couple of kills. So, okay, we do this. I wish Qin had an art card, but oh well. I'm hoping another boss shows up and Arash at least kills that, because then it's not too bad. Fuck, he didn't get enough refund. Shit. Well, I should have taunted him. I'm actually gonna save Scum. I'm gonna save Scum. I'm gonna taunt him. Cause yeah, if he gets attacked some, that should fix it. Cause we don't need that much. Cause of the roundup, we only need 19 NP gain, and he made it to 11. So mild cheating. Game crash, yep. Arash blew it up. The bus drop is obviously for Spartacus. Like, Arash, you think Arash needs the damage? Oh man, Arash isn't doing enough damage, oh no. Like, that's not the problem. Arash hits much harder than Spartacus. Like, please. Now, unfortunately, Spartacus may not work out the way we wanted him to because we had to use Qin-Gong's battery skill earlier than we wanted, and we did not level Spartacus's skill enough, so it might not amount to anything. Or it might amount to something like just Buster card killing somebody, so we'll see. But yeah, sadly, some small thing. Really, just Spartacus not having a skill at 6 is probably the biggest hit for this, and then Qin-Gong almost killing there and then not. So with a little bit of farming, this account could have done a bit better, but you only have one day to do these, so. Fuck. Maybe we do need to give him the Buster up, but it's not gonna matter. It'll be one kill there or one kill on the other one. God, though, if only... Okay, let's see. How do we gotta do this? At least this worked out. Alright, I gotta think. This is definitely the turn for this, because of the ads. Yeah, we're kind of fucked because of this. We can't get our... yeah. Ugh. Hey, thank you for the 8 months, Paul. I appreciate it. Spartacus did get a Buster card, so well, I guess we'll just have to place our bets on that. We really could have gone a nice extra chunk farther, though. We could have Spartacus kill the 11k, then have Doorman NP. I guess that's a little bit better. It's just Doorman's not going to be able to kill anything at the end, I don't think. See, Doorman will kill these 3, though. If I have Doorman NP right now, I think he kills these 3. And maybe Spartacus can kill... Nah, anything Spartacus could kill with just a normal Buster would work anyway. Although I guess Spartacus could kill Dion and maybe bring in something that'd have enough health that we wouldn't be able to kill it with Doorman. Yeah, it's the last turn. That's what I'm trying to figure. I guess I'll do it this way and see what happens. Yeah, we might just save scums, try to get a little bit more out of this. Still, this account did alright. I wasn't really expecting this account to do amazing. This isn't too bad. Seriously, if Spartacus was just at rank 6, because he could have Chingong's Buster up, I think he'd be pushing it, but he might have been able to clear this wave as well. Damn. I'm not gonna bother save scumming. We could probably kill another one. Like, we could probably squeeze out another kill or so, but that's fine. I'll be happy with that. I wish I could do this stage on my main account again, though. I think it could have really done well. Yeah, I think I could have brought a bonus CE, I think, and gotten more drop stuff, but this is mostly just for fun, though. Like, I mean, 49k is not even if you multiply it, it's not that big of a deal, and at most, you probably get 5 million QP if you do the whole thing, and I mean, that's, like, wow, big deal, but it is fun to mess around with, so this account did alright, but it was just so close to doing so much better, it was a little frustrating. Yeah, I'm just gonna CS once a day for this one, and then if at some point I want to do all 3, I still can. I figure the later ones probably will give more loot. I just wish you could do that style of stage where it works that way as just a regular farming, because then you could be min-maxing your farming as you go. That would be awesome. I really like the idea of a turn-limited, endless like stage, and that's your farming stage, right? I think that'd be way more fun than just doing these generic stages. And you could, if people don't like that, you could still offer the generic stages if you want to do that, but unfortunately, as Cairo put it, FGO is like petrified of change, so what do you get from the ladder? I haven't actually checked yet. Not really anything I care about on this account or my main account. I care a little bit on my like Gilgamesh, Achilles account, but yeah, I don't need any of this stuff. That's kind of disappointing. Happy to get the apples and summon tickets, but yeah, for farming, this is nothing. This doesn't help me with anything. I don't need these mats for anybody, and most of these mats I have like an insane amount of, so yeah, it's kind of whatever. Assuming there's a lore in here, though. Always happy to get lores. My god, you're gonna need a lot of points, though. The command codes are nice from this event. I don't even need Dragon Fangs. I might need them someday. I have like 180 on my main account or something like that, and I haven't needed them in a long time, but I'm never mad to get a bronze mat, even if I have a lot of them, just because, you know, bronze mats. But the shop has bones, so that I am totally okay with on every single one of my accounts. And apparently I need horseshoes on this account, so I'll take that. Yeah, totally cool with that. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap up. I know it's a little early, but I'm gonna stream again in a bit. I'm gonna play some Genshin Impact later, because they got like the whole big update. So I'm gonna take a quick break, eat some dinner, blah blah blah, and then I'll be back probably 20 minutes or so with some Genshin Impact. I want to check that out. But yeah, this event doesn't really have a lot to do in it for like entertainment value. It's pretty much just the endless thing, and you can only do it once. But it'll be interesting seeing this account go through these endless things and see how well it does. So, anyways, lads, thank you for hanging out. If you care for Genshin Impact, I'll probably be back with that in like 20 minutes or something. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Later.